We believe self-mastery is a lifestyle. Alignment is the goal.
So in today's episode, we are going to talk about things I had to unlearn.
Sounds heavy. It's going to be a good one. How about we don't do that? How about we ask for some help?
We think we have these superpowers.
What are some signs that someone is out of alignment in their life? When you step out of that and help other people, it's like you're helping yourself.
Out of your selfish space. So what daily or weekly practices help you stay grounded and connected to your purpose?
You're stuck, you're still. What's the link between perfection and procrastination?
All right, so what does living in alignment mean to you? And how did you begin your journey towards achieving it?
Well, I can pinpoint a season in which I was totally out of alignment.
Okay.
I was in a car crash and my spine was literally readjusted.
Okay.
So in a physical sense, I was out of alignment and I could feel it.
Okay.
And then through that experience, everything else like a domino started to fall out of alignment. So my routines or things that I used to be able to do around the house, how I can interact with my kids. So I was totally on every level out of alignment. And for the first time in probably my whole life, I had to ask for a lot more help than I'm used to or comfortable doing. So I feel like this could be a word.
Yeah.
When we're out of alignment, sometimes we want to kind of shrink, recluse. I'll figure it out. I gotta figure it out. I don't know how I'm gonna figure it. How about we don't do that? How about we ask for some help? And like I was saying, I don't like to use the word humble often, but there are moments in life where you have to humble, and it could be when you're out of alignment. You need a little bit more assistance. Whether it's a physician, whether it's your husband, whether it's the kids, whether they're gonna, put up a fuss or not. Ask for more help when you're out of alignment.
Yeah, I like that, especially the word humble, because I think it's hard for women, especially when you're so accustomed to doing everything yourself. It tends to be hard to ask for help because we think we're Superwoman. We think we have these, superpowers, and we really don't. So with your accident, I like that. I was trying to think of something, aside from just feeling like I'm overwhelmed. So when I feel like I'm not being true to myself, that could just be me not being able to humble myself enough to ask for help, because now I'm out of sync. I'm out of sync, and clearly I'm not living in alignment. So, why should it cause me to be agitated or to feel flustered? If I just ask for help, I wouldn't feel all of those things. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that we learn how to seek help when needed. And not be too big to do so.
Ooh, not be too big to do so. Too cool for school.
Too cool for school. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of miss out on, I want to say, I think we tend to miss out on our blessings a lot of times when we're so accustomed to not seeking help and not getting the help that's right there in front of us a lot of times. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
That's a good one. What are some signs that someone is out of alignment in their life? What are some signs? You know what comes to mind? What comes to mind is when people often say, and I've said this before, I don't look like what I've been through. Right? Don't we sometimes hear this? Okay, so you don't look like, whether you're putting on a mask or you're just good at the performance of life, you don't look like what you've been through, but what are some signs though? So it could be when your appearance gives way, meaning you're out of alignment when you're talking and smiling and everyone can see that you are not together.
Because you know why?
You are not together.
A lot of times it shows in our eyes.
Very much so.
We can put this mask on all day long.
You look great.
Yeah, exactly. But when you look in the person's eyes, it gives it away every single time. They're tired. They're unhappy. They're sad. You know what I mean? Like you can almost visualize, feeling that way. Like I'm thinking down my head, like there are plenty of times I've felt that way. You work so hard to keep that mask on,
People can tell. Certain people can tell.
Absolutely. Those are the closest to you can most definitely tell when you're out of sync, when you're not, in alignment in the sense too. Going back to the alignment. But I think your physical being is important too. We've talked about this in other episodes. We will touch on it even more going forward. Yes. But, that's why it's so important to keep your physical state in place, because that causes you to show signs that you're not living within your alignment, your true self. I think it's important to again, just stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, some people would say, well, appearances don't matter, and to some degree they don't.
Yeah.
We get it, superficial, but like, I'll give you an example. I went to go get scrubs the other day.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna detour real quick. I went to go get scrubs. And I'm dying to get rid of a little chubby that I've seen. I'm not gonna.
This one here with no chubbiness.
Cut it out.
I can't stop it.
Anyway, how we fit our clothes can affect us. Well, maybe from a female point of view, but I'm sure this happens to men too, right? Mm-hmm. So that physical, it does matter. Because a lot of people say, well, no, looks don't matter. No, how you feel in your skin does matter.
And I think it also contributes to the mental health aspect as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Let's go there.
You know, and I'm no psychologist or anything like that. Neither one of us are, but I think it's important to just touch on it for a moment because we feel like that's not as important as it should be. In this society, we just don't dive into it.
We're just touching the tip just these days.
Just a little bit. But I think it's very important to note that your mental health is just as important as your physical being. So if your mental health is out of sync, your physical will be off, your emotions are going to be off. You will do too much, you know what I mean, in terms of like your emotions. Your emotions are going to reflect that you're not in sync within yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important to note that that's how you stay in alignment in your life. Mm-hmm. That's my take on it.
No, I think what you said triggered a mommy moment for me. When I'm out of alignment, it's when let's say you just turn to respond real quick and it's like a snap.
Yeah.
Right? Like there was no kindness there. Mm-hmm. You didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But that's a giveaway. You just gave yourself away.
Your tone is off. Yeah, your tone is off. Yeah. Your body language is off.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all that makes a difference too. So that's when you should know, like, okay, it's time to step back. Let me re-examine myself, because technically it's something going on within yourself that's making you snap.
Absolutely.
That's causing you to feel look a certain type of way.
It shows.
It makes a difference. Yeah. And I think, we can dress up, like you said, all day long, but if we're not dressed in here, we're off.
Just impressed.
Yeah, we're off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your soul means everything. My grandma used to say, you can be as pretty as you want to be, but those insides are not right, it'll show the whole world who you are.
This is so true.
And it's true, Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Yeah, it's important.
Good one.
So what daily or weekly practices help you stay grounded and connected to your purpose? Because all this kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about.
It does.
So, you want to share?
Well, first I feel like purpose is continuously changing, at least for me. Mm-hmm. I think maybe because I dabble and a lot of different interests, so it's always changing. So first, trying to identify your purpose, and then how do you, and mine kind of clash, or they don't feel like they match a little bit. But what I'm gonna say is, I feel like I am an influencer in a way. Okay. Right? So even in my home, I had 2 young girls, and they're watching everything I do and say.
They're everything. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's an influence there. Mm-hmm. I have my own business, so I have to be a product of my product, right? Yes. I have to show up, and if I'm saying, hey, you need to rest and make sure you do your skincare, but I'm not, I'm out of alignment with my purpose. But how I, on a daily and weekly, I think, bring myself into a centering, it's going to seem so miscellaneous. I think I'm a cleaner. When I feel as if I'm out of alignment or I'm out of sync, my environment, so whether it's my office, whether it's my bedroom, I will stop and clean things. I think when we remove residues or dusts, because we're forgetting like the ions and the pollution, all that stuff in the air, or just a mess, I think that affects our purpose. It slows us down. So me personally, and people might not be a fan of it, but my go-to daily thing is I'm going to clean. I'm going to clean up and organize, make sure things are wiped down and things smell great, blinds are open, and that helps me reconnect and to focus on my purpose of being a better influence.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off of that too. I feel like that's very great point, because a lot of times we don't realize how not doing that, keeping your surroundings clean, it removes chaos too out of your life. And so for me, I'd like to do the same thing. I mean, I'm always cleaning something. In fact, my people say I don't sit down enough.
It seems
but it's just keeping me grounded. It's keeping me in
It's your thing.
Yeah, it's my thing.
It's like a therapy.
I think in addition to that too, I would like to say what keeps me grounded
Mhm.
is how I affect other people.
Mhm.
I like to leave an impact on other people, and I mean a positive one.
Right.
I just like to have positive influence on people, and I like yourself. I feel like I want to be an influencer where people look at me and say, she's positive, she's upbeat, she's approachable. Just a warm, welcoming person. So I think that's what keeps me grounded, because our purpose here should be to help other people.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like I ultimately just want to be here to help others. So if you're not doing that, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, that's my daily, weekly, routine that I like to practice. Is always saying the right things to someone, being aware of what I'm saying, how I deliver it. Because going back to what we just said, your body language means everything. So my tone could be off, and not everybody can receive things the same way. It's like that saying, you can't approach everybody the same exact way. Right. You have to learn a person to know that about them, and care enough to want to address it that way. The care part, exactly. So for me, that's what keeps me grounded on a daily and weekly basis. Is how I affect other people ultimately.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Something that came to mind when you said other people. Because let's say we're in a funk, we're out of alignment, we get so stuck on ourselves. And you can be that way for a long, it's just all about you. But when you step out of that and help other people, it's like you're helping yourself.
Out of your selfish space. Because we all have it in us to be a little selfish, right? So, but now you're like putting that focus on someone else. And
you kind of break out of whatever conundrum you're in by helping somebody else. That part is so true. I like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, most definitely. Bring pleasure to yourself by helping somebody else.
So what advice would you give someone who feels stuck but want to start living a more aligned life? Should I take this one? Should I lead it?
Go for it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to start with just saying what I said earlier, staying true to yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not true to yourself, then you're not going to be good for anyone else around you. That's what I would start with. I would also like to add that you should find something that makes you happy within. Finding peace within yourself. It's a busy life, as we talked about on our episodes. Peace in a busy life is so important. So you have to find what brings you peace in your busy life.
Okay.
And that's how I feel you can stay true to yourself and not get stuck in those, those moments of not living your more aligned life.
So what I'm hearing too is your approach is even more preventative. So you're not even waiting for it to happen. You're like, no.
Yeah, just being aware of it before it happens. That's being proactive. Like, why shouldn't we be? We should live our life in a space where we're already aware of what's going to happen. 9 times out of 10 it's already happened before. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of repeating itself. If you don't change, the cycle just repeats itself.
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah. So I'm just saying now.
You're talking about repetitive issues.
Yes, exactly.
That cause you to be out of alignment.
That's right. So what is that thing that helps you stay grounded in those spaces?
I always think that when we get moving, right? So even conceptually, if you're stuck, you're still, right? Yes. So in real life, if you have a friend, a sister, a brother, a colleague, and you know their story and they're stuck, I think I would recommend them to physically go get moving. Whether it's a walk, whether it's a recumbent bike, it doesn't matter.
That's
whatever sophisticated tool that just, get your physical body moving. I think things will fall into place also.
I agree.
Right? That mind, that circulation, that could possibly improve how you're approaching it.
And find something, not just movement, right? But find a movement that makes you happy, makes you smile, makes you laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're just moving, we can move outside, we can just move around, right? Like, but when you're moving, what makes you smile? What makes your heart smile? For me, I always say it's Zumba for me, but because it does. It makes my heart smile. I'm laughing. I'm upbeat. It's fun. So it's just, yes, movement is important. I agree totally, wholeheartedly. But what's going to put that smile on your face?
You know what came to mind when you said that? First of all, I need to get to a Zoom class. I'm gonna kick up my heels and have a blast. But you know what? Belly dancing has come across my table.
Exactly. And we actually do belly dancing in our class. Zumba, because Zumba is an infused part, it's infused hip hop, but it's a little bit of Latin, and belly dance is a little bit of everything. But all of that, you just can't help yourself. It's like you're in a space where everybody's doing and feeling the same exact way. Oh God, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an amazing feeling. I mean, if you listen, I'm promoting all this stuff, but hey, if you're looking for something that makes you laugh or makes you smile, or you're trying to find you need something, movement is important, but find a movement that's going to put a smile on your face.
Specific thing.
Yes.
Yeah. What other things? I'm trying to think. So Zumba, belly dancing.
You know, I want to go back to my cooking. I mean, some people find therapy in cooking,
You're
right?
on your feet moving.
Right, exactly. And for me, like, I like to play my music while I'm cooking. I'm kind of in the zone when I'm doing that. Yeah. Also with cleaning, people, you know, when you're decluttering,
so there we go.
When you're purging, you got your music playing. It's like you're going to create a whole vibe, right? I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. Because if I'm decluttering, if I'm going to purge or whatever, I'm going to be moving.
Absolutely.
So I think it's all important. But yeah, find what works for you. And you know, that's what we're basically trying to say here. Like, find something that really like speaks to your soul, speaks to your heart. Okay.
I think as we age, you know, we put away childish ways, but sometimes we visit that. Like, what sports did you play when you were younger?
Yes.
And you haven't played it in 10 years. Oh my gosh. Visit that, and I bet you fall back into a different alignment with yourself.
I love that. Because softball's always done that for me.
Basketball was mine.
Softball. I mean, volleyball. I wasn't all that good at basketball. I was a manager.
Okay.
I carried the water, but I was a beast in volleyball and softball, man. But you're right. Like, those are things that just, you know, it just does something for you, right? Yeah. Revisit those things, guys. Like, and share with us, you know, what you decide to revisit.
That'd be good.
That puts a smile on your face.
Sometimes we forget.
Yeah, we do. And here we are to remind you. Yes. We are here to remind you. Okay.
So, what's the link? Because we're here to unlearn some things. What's the link between perfection and procrastination? I learned this probably was like recently. So I'm in my ripe old age. I thought that being a perfectionist was like, you're supposed to shoot for the stars and hit the stars. Okay, or else you're not doing nothing.
Here we are disappointing ourselves again.
No, you're supposed. I mean, everything's right and aligned, and you know, maybe no.
I agree. I totally agree. I just feel like at times we tend to let ourselves down because that perfection is just like, even at the ripe old age of 50 years old, I still feel like I want to perfect everything that I do. So when I don't, am I letting myself down? Am I putting too much pressure on myself?
Come to find out.
Yeah.
So I did not know that procrastination was a branch of perfectionism, because you know, you'll speak to people and it's, well, no, it's not time yet, or I'm just gonna, I'm not quite ready yet, or it's not. You're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect scenario, the perfect lineup, and that's not how things go. So what do? You delay. You push off something you said you're going to do last year. You still haven't done it, and it's a whole year later because you're waiting for the perfect moment. And sometimes the idea of perfection happens while you're growing, while you're moving. Oh, gosh, like with what we're doing here. How many bloopers? How many You guys don't even know how many bloopers. But eventually, we're right here speaking to you. If we would have waited for the perfect moment.
Or even the perfect moment to start our podcast. I mean, we could have said we both are in our, you know, respected careers. So we could have said, you know what, I'm a little too busy for this right now. I have this going on, I have that going on. But we said, you know what, we can find a little slither of time to do what it is we're trying to do. And we did that.
And we did that.
You know what comes to mind when I think about that? Procrastination, perfection, and procrastination is, and I'm not male bashing here. My cousin said, I'll watch your podcast as long as there's no male bashing. So nope, I promise no male bashing.
Oh, that's
but sad. I will say that I've heard this from other, you know, lady friends of mine, that men tend to want things to be perfect in their world before they get married.
Now that is interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys have heard that, right? I know, and so what does that mean?
Well, I think probably finances. They want to make sure they have the right, whatever that number is the right amount.
But is it ever a time where it's ever going to be exactly what you want?
No, because there's never enough money.
It's never enough money. Okay, so but you're procrastinating on your relationship. You're putting it on the back burner because you're waiting for this perfect time. And I don't know anyone, you know, directly like this. I don't know anyone that I could say I know for sure they waited or whatever. So I'm not speaking about anybody in general. But it's just a topic that I hear all the time, where men are waiting for that perfect time to tie the knot. So, you know, I do wonder whether or not that's a level of procrastination as well.
I think so. Yeah. And when you said that, what triggered a thought was, are they Or you're also waiting to see whether that person is the perfect person.
Yeah, that too. Now that's interesting right there.
Very interesting.
I love that.
Because if we're talking about relationships, little detour, that's definitely a process.
Yeah, because when do you really know if
you're never done growing? You're never
absolutely
done.
You're constantly evolving. I mean, I've been married, just celebrated 29 years of marriage last week, so I feel like my husband and I are still evolving as a couple. You know, I mean, we've all had our battles with growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's important just to realize, be able to have a distinction between the two, because it's important, especially at a certain age, or just putting too much pressure on yourself in life about things, and that's what perfection is, just applying too much pressure. It's like you don't have to put that type of pressure on yourself. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow of things. Let it just be.
Allow things to create. Don't be afraid of the creative process.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what it is? Creative process can be chaotic.
It can also be scary.
All of those things, but out of mess is masterpiece. Keep that in mind.
That's right. Yes, I love that. Yeah. So just a recap, things that I had to unlearn. I think it's just, so many things. So many things.
We're still unlearning.
But I'll start with just, again, I'm going to go back to what I initially said, was just staying true to myself and not allowing someone to take me out of my space and my purpose.
Well, what sticks to the ribs for me is learning or unlearning that I can't do everything by myself.
Yes.
Not only by myself, but I should be able to feel good asking for help.
That's
not
right.
Make that a negative, like, oh, I'm not capable. It has nothing to do with that. You have people around you, so that I had to unlearn. So now I practice that more willingly and with a good spirit. Asking for help.
I think it's important too, and most importantly, just staying humble enough to do that. All of those things. Stay humble. All right. Yeah. So on that note, that concludes today's episode of things I had to unlearn. I hope you guys have taken away some things that are valuable to you from this episode. So.
Absolutely. And join us online and comment.
Yes, absolutely.
I would love to hear what classes people start doing. Is it going to be the Zumba?
Will it be cooking?
Some soccer in the backyard? What's
playing some softball with your baseball, your church team?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. Let us know. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your week.